Mic check, 1 2 1 2. There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. Moving onwards in our Sepultura journey, after listening to Beneath the Remains, we've got Arise, which is the 4th record. Alright. Potentially more thrash metal, bridging the gap between the thrash to the groove, to the new metal, to the whatever comes after, alright? I think we've got KSAD coming up next, which, from what I've heard, is going to be quite a good record. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, we got 10 tracks on this record, one of them being a track called CIU, which I might put on, if that's a bonus track. But the other 2 extra tracks, one of them's intro, Arise Sessions. I guess we can put that on. An intro, that's pretty cool. And then there's a separate mix of Desperate Cry. Yeah, which is track number 3 on the album. We won't bother with that. But with that being said, this is devoted to Philo, who's recommended this via the Patreon. Thank you very much. Let's jump in. I don't think I've heard any of the material on this record before. Max Cavaliera vocals and guitar, Andreas Kisser lead guitar, Paulo Jr. bass guitar, Igor Cavaliera on the machine gun, aka the drum kit, I assume. Got a Discharge sticker on his guitar. Come on. Good tune. Some good riffing, eh? Relatively simple riffing. Very effective riffing. Good thrash metal, good time at 3 minutes 26. Powerful vocal. It's a good start to the record. It's a good start to the record. It's a shame that I had the music video, and I say it's a shame because it seems like when a video is attached, we tend to, rid of a lot of sound quality. Whereas when it's just the literal sound, the audio files that we can get, or, just the album artwork, they tend to sound a little bit cleaner, a lot better quality and better clarity. We've got Dead Embryonic Cells coming up next. There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Arise by Sepultura. This is track number 2 of 10, entitled Dead Embryonic Cells. Let's jump in. Roadrunner Records. Let's go. Come on. Corrosion of Conformity. El Gojira says 317, one of the first and most epic breakdowns in metal history. I think first is probably a big stretch. Looking forward to the breakdown. Come on. So let me tell you from the get-go, just this far into the record after hearing Arise and getting this far into Dead Embryonic Cells, this vibe, this energy, if this is what we're like throughout this record, generally, it's probably going to be better than Beneath the Remains. Beneath the Remains was blazing fast and tight and all this, but I like these riffs, man, these mid-tempo, just like headbang riffs, groovy riffs. Ba-da-bow. Breakdown coming up. Let's go. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. So far, this album is touching me in the right places as opposed to what we had on the record prior. I like the chug riffs. I do like the chug riffs. But just to respond to El Gojiro said, with 1.4k views, 317 one of the first and most epic breakdowns in metal history. Bro, when did this record come out? When have we got... I don't know when, but 89 was Beneath the Remains, so this might have been put out in 1991 perhaps. Bro, how many breakdowns have been put out before this? And let's be real, like, New York hardcore was a thing. When it started to get a little more metal. Bro, let's be real. So let's just put the most basic sort of like cliche breakdown out there beforehand. Raining Blood off of Rain in Blood. That was a breakdown what sounded very alike what we had there. The chugs, and then we had the broken guitar line over the top. That was in what, 86? Yeah. It's a bold statement. It's a bold statement. Let's keep on going. We've got Desperate Cry coming up next. An epic in its own right at 6 minutes 51. Let's see if it keeps me interested. That's the most important thing. I'll see you there, people. Hold on tight. Mic check, 1, 2. Let me just make sure that volume's coming through, yeah? It definitely is. I'll see you there, people. Yes, now, bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. We're listening to Arise by Sepultura. This one is track number 3. It's entitled Desperate Cry. It's quite a long one at 6 minutes 41. Let's see if it keeps my attention. Let's see what's going on. We haven't gone really blazing speed style like we did Beneath the Remains. A little more of a mid-tempo chug. Let's see if they break the mold at this point. Let's go. I don't know what to expect. This entire playthrough goes out to my friend Philo, recommended I listen to this via the Patreon. I appreciate that. Ba-dum. 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 What do you reckon to the idea of people calling this band death thrash and sort of relating it to death metal at this point? Do you reckon? It's got a bit of a dingy, lower, you know, registered sound to it, but death metal seems like such a stretch. Nice. Here we go. Nice. Ba-da-ba-bow. I do think they ended that with what could be the most boring riff of all time. Dum, da, da, dum. I didn't think much to the outro, but with that being said, that was a good tune. And we only had like one really fast thrash metal bit. This, I think the pattern has emerged that this record, at least in comparison to Beneath the Remains, is going to be real mid-tempo. You know, maybe the higher end of mid-tempo, but it's not going to be like, how fast can you thrash like we were doing on Beneath the Remains. Some good ideas there. It's Sepultura. I mean, we even had a little twinkly clean bit, which was one of my criticisms of Beneath the Remains. It was just like every song was the same, but we had different ideas, but it was just so consistent. It was actually a detriment to the record because I couldn't differentiate one moment from another. But here, we've got Murder, which is track number 4. We're listening to Arise. Let's continue on. Yes, now, bless now. Don't forget to rest now. Bada bing. Sorry, people. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. We are listening to Arise by Sepultura. So far, it's been pretty bloody good. This one's entitled Murder. Murderer! Track 4. Straight to the point. Come on. But
the only balance in my eyes is all war moves backward.
better
Peace on the other side that lies. Love today is not worth the pain. On the rain, another on the side. Inmates suffocating jail. Severed heads of revolt. I wish I'd never been born. Same hand that builds, destroys. Same hand that relieves, betrays. Same hand that seeds, burns. Same peace that exists, he lies.
Let's go.
I can't trust anymore.
Ba-ba.
Criminals within the law. I have something to say. Where I live, don't believe another day.
Them gallops there, them triplets. Dun, 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 dun. Ba-ba-da. Ba-ba-da.
Heresy and graft. Apartheid. Sterility that says,
Ba-ba.
that's you.
That was Murder by Sepultura. Very good. Very good. I'm liking the song lengths on this record. We only bump over 6 minutes twice on this record, and generally we're sub 5 minutes, which on Beneath the Remains we tend to be over 5 minutes, so that's a nice variation. I like that twist. We got Subtraction coming up next, track number 5. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Arise in full by Sepultura. It's devoted to Philo, who recommended this via the Patreon. Thank you very much. Without further ado, this is Subtraction, track number 5. Let's go. Someone says the sickest groove in metal, possibly at 4 minutes 8 seconds. Better.
First generation born, the brain was created. The cure is in my mind. Solitude is all I see. Born for nature, repressed feeling, burn beneath the fear. Making you a coward, find your safety.
This guy says Indians and fight fire with fire and holy wars and raining blood equals subtraction. That's a bold statement. I don't know where he's come up with that one. Although in reference to that person talking about a good groove, I'm hoping that's in reference to where he's talking about Indians. That'd be good. Did it. I can hear the death metal when it comes into these bits. These dissonant chromatic moments on the guitar riffs. I can hear the death metal there. Come on. Where's this groove? Where's this groove? Where's this groove? Someone says one of the best grooves in metal. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Are we ready? High hopes. High hopes. Is that it? One of the greatest grooves is a very bold statement. Very bold statement. I can't have it. I can't have it. Pretty good. That was Subtraction. Good track. I'm not going to detract from, no pun intended, I'm not going to detract from the value of that music. That was really good. Great metal. We've got Altered State coming up next. It seems like these longer scale ones are the ones that the fans like because they tend to have a few more views. From what I saw in the related, we're looking at least 1.5 mil, I think. I'm going to have to refresh the page. So I'll see you there in a second, people. Yes, now, bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. This one is Altered State. Let's go. Track 6. Devoted to Philo, who recommended this via the Patreon. Let me put some respect on his... There we go, that's better. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Arthur says, in my opinion, this is one of the... No, he says, this is the best metal album of all time. And yes, I think it's better than Rust in Peace or Master of Puppets. Someone said, and Shovel-Headed Kill Machine by Exodus. Nobody has ever referenced that Exodus as the greatest metal album of all time. No one even mentions that record. I hadn't heard that record once. Hardcore. Alright. Solo. That rhythm guitar's going crazy right now. Bap, bap, bada, bap, bap, bada, bap. Bada, bap, bap, bada, bap, bap, bada, bap. Let's go, come on. Rhythm section is grooving. Bada, bada. That was Altered State. That was good. There's a lot of depth in this album, right? There's a lot of depth in this album, and there was depth in Beneath the Remains, but that depth was within the composition. It was within the time they must have taken to orchestrate the album. With this one, there is a more mature sense of depth. There is almost a free-form sense of experimentation, as opposed to just being tight and composed, which we had in Beneath the Remains. Here, there's a little more room for manoeuvre in the band's sound, and they are remaining metal, but so self-comfortable and confident in what they can sort of accomplish. As Sepultura, they seem to be sort of relieving themselves of the boundaries that initially once were. And it suits the band. It does suit the band. It suits the band a lot. This is a better album than Beneath the Remains, in my personal opinion. We've got Under Siege coming up next. Alright, let's keep on moving. Yes, now bless. Now, don't forget Rest Now. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. Under Siege is the title of this one. We're listening to Arise from start to finish. It's devoted to my good friend Philo, a fellow metalhead, who's like, we got to check out some Sepultura, and here we are. Let's go. Under Siege, track 7. Most of these songs have got fade-ins, if you haven't noticed. More fade-ins than what you'll find in your normal record, that is for sure. I wonder if there's any more in the track listing. You best believe I'll point it out if there is. Let's go. Ignorant. Bah, bah, bah. Is this going to be an instrumental of sorts? No. Wow. Very cool. That was Under Siege. I find there's a little more experimentation with dissonance in this record. Not a heavy amount, but you hear it when you hear it. Some riffs are built upon dissonance. They're relatively infrequent, but they do exist. That one track, Under Siege, that was, you know, compared to what we have heard, it wasn't my favourite one, I'll be real with you. It was okay, but there wasn't anything that stood out to me in particular. And the whole sort of backward recorded voice sort of thing, you know, I don't really think it adds anything to any record in this day and age. We've got Meaningless Movements coming up. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Arise. Track 8, let's jump straight in. Meaningless Movements is the title of this one. Let's go. Let's go.
Born with remorse to a goal, burn place. Battle within minds, hungry for what's of prey. Don't stop the current truth. Secrets in lies, meaningless movements. I don't remember scenes. Fake, different and down. Down your ideas. Turning straight to break. Fearful fantasy. Respect the unknown. Turning your heart red. I create, celebrate. Now. Words I cannot understand. Shrieks in my moment of pain.
Ignorant vocal, that.
Imposter hides behind the mask. My word against your lie.
Bup, 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 bup. Ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da. Come on.
Turn my head to see what I know. Settle with the floor. Men on the wall. Born with remorse to a goal and a place. Battle with the minds. Hungry for
quite a punk rock swing to some of them riffs there. That was a decent track. I didn't mind that one at all. I think I'm going to prefer this one even more. Sitting at 3 minutes 18. During Beneath the Remains, they crammed a lot of that material. They concentrated a lot of energy into a briefer song. And I'm looking forward to see how they do it on this one, considering they've got a different approach to the writing and the riffs and the ideas and the structure this time around. Let's find out. We've got Infected Voice coming up. Yo, what's good? Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Arise by Sepultura. It's devoted to my good friend Philo via the Patreon. Thank you for the recommendation. Let's go. Track 9. Here we go. Let's go. Da-da-da. Ba-da-ba. 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 Let's go. What a riff! Take it, pick up. Better, bap. That was hard. Infected Voice! Yes! That was a gas! Where's that riff? Bap, 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 bap. That's an ignorant riff. Bap, 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 bap. Yeah, a little more of a faster session for that one. Brief song, faster tempo, get it done, come on. We got a Gasmatron coming up next. Let's finish the record. There's Rocksteady King of the Pit TV signing in. This is like the highest viewed track, given that I don't have a music video, or Gasmatron. It's a horrible title for a track. It's horrible. I think back in the day, I had a compilation CD, and I had... who was on it? There was a cover of this, and I thought it might have been the original. It was black metal band, arguably black metal. I don't know what you'd call them. What was it? Who did it, bruh? You tell me. There was a band that covered this, like early to mid 90s, black metal band, but you don't really hear them referenced much. But they were large scale, you know. They're well reputable. But I assume they covered this. Let's jump in. Oh, is this actually one of the best covers of all time? Oh, this was actually originally by Motorhead. Ah, so they were both covering Motorhead.
I am the one, orgasmatron, the outstretched grasping hand. My image is of agony. My servants break the land. Obsequious and arrogant, clandestine and vain. 2,000 years of misery, of torture in my name. Hypocrisy made paramount, paranoia the law. My name is no religion, sadistic, sacred, war.
Bro, if Motorhead wrote this, lyrically speaking, it's quite poetic in sense. Lemmy must have been half decent with a pen, unless it was someone else who wrote it.
I twist the truth, I rule the world. My throne is called deceit. I am the emperor of lies. You gravel at my feet. I rob you and fly you. Your downfall is my game. And do you play the psychopath and revel in my pain? And all my promise are lies. All my love is hate. I am the politician, and I decide your fate.
Let's go. Wow, wow, wow.
I march before a mighty word, an army for the fight. I speak your great heroic days of victory and might. I hold a banner drenched in blood. I urge you to be brave. I lead you to your destiny. I lead you to your grave. Your paws will build my palace. Your eyes will stop my throne. For I am Mars, the god of war, and I'll cut you down.
With all respect to Motorhead and who they influenced, the actual original material on this record that Sepultura wrote in their own sense, that was way better, you know? The Sepultura material is way better than the cover they did. as far as the sound, the energy, the instrumental prowess. You know what I'm like. I'm a little bit funny when it comes to covers, especially when it comes to great bands, and especially when it comes to powerful spaces on the record, i.e. the last track of the record. I don't really want to hear a Motorhead cover, but then again, a lot of people do. 7.9 million views. And I thought this must have been the original. Nope. It was a Motorhead cover. But lucky us, we're not going to call it the last track of the record, purely as we've got an intro track in CIU, which might have been thrown in as B-sides on like an expanded version. So we're going to go into them now and finish this record off. Yeah. I don't know if I've heard the original by Motorhead, so I can't really comment as to whether they've even done it justice, in all honesty. It's always tricky to react properly to cover songs, alright? We've got our intro, and then we're going to do CIU. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. Arise by Sepultura is what we're listening to. We're going to finish this record off here. We're going to do this intro from the Arise sessions, and then we're going to float into CIU, which is an abbreviation of Criminals in Uniform. Let's go. I wonder if CIU is a cover. Who knows, eh? Let's go. CIU coming up. That was a bit of a basic intro. Couple of power chords and a couple of grooves. We could do better. Let's go. Oh, and it blends in. We're going industrial with this one. Ba ba da ba ba da ba da ba. Let's go. Come on. Hard. Better. Bad. Let's go. Better. Bro, that was some Power Rangers style guitar soloing. I really like this riff aside this drum beat. Powerful. Better. That was CIU. I love the tightness of that. I love the punchiness of that. That was a real good riff. That was Arise by Sepultura. That was pretty good. I'm going to do 2 more videos. One of them's going to show you my final overview of this record, and I'll give it a rating. And then second to that, I'm going, go onto Wikipedia and learn a bit about the record. I'll see you there. Yo, what's good? There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. We just listened to Sepultura. In particular, it was the Arise record. It was recommended on Patreon through Philo. Thank you very much, my man. I listened to a lot of Sepultura. 3 days of Sepultura. Started with Beneath the Remains. It took me 2 days to get through to Beneath the Remains. And then I've just polished off Arise today. So I've had plenty of Sepultura-infused thrash metal put into my ear holes as of recent. This was better than Beneath the Remains. I preferred this. This was more my cup of tea. I don't mind speed. I don't mind thrash. I'm a punk rock fan, so I don't mind high-intensity, fast music. But when that's spanned over 6 minutes a time, over 10 tracks, it becomes problematic. They really broke it down better on this record. 10 tracks we had, disregarding the bonus material. And we'll call it 9 tracks, actually. You tell me how much was on the original, because somebody told me that Intro and CIU and Orgasmatron weren't included, and that would mean 9 tracks, given we've got the official Sepultura playlist. So, with that being said, more composure within the material we're being given, more twists and turns, more tempo changes, and generally speaking, more of a mid-tempo, more of a as opposed to a, you know what I mean? We did return back to the fast thrash bits from time to time, but it wasn't that often, and I preferred them whilst they were chugging away, plugging away. It gave them more room to sort of broaden the spectrum of what ideas they could give me, instead of just having to focus on playing fast and intense all the time, which was, it would be good to me, younger. Nowadays, I need something special. I've heard so much metal, man. So this was a better record. Production-wise, it was good. I'd argue that Beneath the Remains was produced better, although this wasn't a bad production. The guitar work was good, the drumming was good. Bass had its moments to shine. I prefer the vocal than any Sepultura I've heard as of so far. The vocal's really good. Great vocal approach. Great oomph to the vocal line. Did I have any favourite songs? No. Was it all well composed? Yes. You know what? Dead Embryonic Cells might have been my favourite. In hindsight. We had 2 music videos to this. Very good. Cool looking band. Cool sounding band. I don't know when this was put out. I would say 91 perhaps, because it was 89 for the record that came before. And that being said, what else can I say? I rated the last record, what, like a 5 out of 10? I think I'll give this a 6.5. I'll give it a 6.5. I don't see myself returning to the record because it's very, you know, you're going to fall out with me when I say traditional thrash. It is quite traditional in a sense. I know you say it's death thrash and all this and that. It's very good thrash metal, alright? But I need a bit more punk. Which this record has, but not to the degree as to where it's crossover. I like crossover thrash, me. If I'm going to listen to thrash metal, I'm going to listen to crossover. So considering I'm not necessarily going to return, that's what I'm going to have to put forward. But we've got some fun coming up. Because there's a couple of tunes on KSAD I actually go to the gym and train to, and I think are fantastic. So we've got a good album coming up as to where I can start to, you know, give a bit of insights to what you may not deem appropriate for Sepultura that I really enjoy. And that'll be a good showcase of how subjective this all is. Let's learn a bit about this record. I'm going to go on and we're going to learn a bit in the next video. We're going to see what the history and the background of this record is. I'll see you there. Yo, what's good? There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. We're going to learn a little bit about Arise today, okay, people? So, we just listened to the record in its entirety. It was recommended on the Patreon by Philo. Thank you very much for that, my man. And now we're going to learn about it. We learned about a bit Beneath the Remains after. I rated this album a little bit higher. We've got alternate artwork, it seems, as to the one we watched on YouTube. Let's learn a bit about it. Of course, this could be via Wikipedia, so if you have any, you know, opinions of what we are talking about, please let it be known, because sometimes it's not legitimate via Wikipedia, is it? So, Arise is the 4th studio album by Brazilian heavy metal band Sepultura. Released in 91 by Roadrunner, upon its release, the album received top reviews from heavy metal magazines such as Rock Hard, Kerrang, and Metal Forces. Arise is considered Sepultura's finest hour amongst longtime fans. Whilst the music on Arise was mostly in the same death/thrash style as their previous album, Beneath the Remains, it was clear that Sepultura's sound was acquiring an experimental edge. I thought so, generally with usage of more dissonant tones from time to time. The album presented their first incursions with industrial, hardcore punk and Latin percussion. The tour from 91 to 92 that supported the album was the group's longest at that time, totaling 220 shows in 39 countries. During this trek, the album went gold in Indonesia, the band's first music industry certification. By the tour's end, Arise had achieved platinum sales worldwide. It was released in 25th of March 91. It was recorded from the 90 to the 91. We've got no strict dates there. And it was recorded in Tampa, Florida, United States. So not in Brazil like Beneath the Remains was. Length 42 minutes, 26 seconds long. Label Roadrunner, who supposedly didn't invest too much in the record that came prior, but they might have spent a couple of quid extra on this one. So production. In August 1990, the band travelled to Florida to work on the album. Scott Burns reprised his role as producer and audio engineer, and now with a major advantage, Sepultura was at his home studio, Morrisound, a studio properly equipped to record their music style. Their label, Roadrunner, granted a 40 grand budget, which I think on the last one, they put forward a 20 grand budget. No, I think it was like 8 grand, to be honest with you, which helped explain the album's improved production values. That allowed drummer Igor Cavalera and Burns, for example, to spend the whole week just testing the drum kit's tunings and experimenting with microphone practice. That's a waste of money if you ask me. A re-recording of Troops of Doom took place in the first days but ended up released in the reissue of Schizophrenia. Musical style. Although lead guitarist Andreas Kisser stated that Arise took a lot of the same direction as their previous album, Beneath the Remains, it was clear that the music was changing. Sepultura's usual breakneck pace became toned down a bit. Drummer Igor Cavalera started using groove-laden rhythms, according to metal specialist Don Kay. What's a metal specialist? I'm a metal specialist. Fuck Don Kay. The album represented the band taking the initial death thrash sound to its logical conclusion. Arise also found the band opening up to non-metal influences. Bands such as, I'm not going to try that, Nine Inch Nails, The Young Gods, and Ministry were already part of Sepultura's listening habits, and slight touches of industrial music can be traced through the use of samples and sound effects. I only heard one, to be honest with you. One industrial-esque sound, and that was like on a track that was thrown off of the record. A trademark of a later phase, Latin percussion and tribal drumming made its first appearance on the song Altered State. The band's old love for hardcore punk is evident on Subtraction and Desperate Cry. Cool. Touring and promotion. Just one day after finishing the recording of Arise, the band embarked on a small headlining tour with extreme metalers Obituary and Sadus. Should I check out some Sadus, if that's how it's pronounced? Let's have a dig. American thrash metal band from California, active from 85 to 2015. Yeah, I've not heard too many people reference that act. That was the start of the longest promotional tour of Sepultura's career, a worldwide affair that would span 2 full years. That's crazy. In January 91, they were invited to play for the Brazilian music festival Rock in Rio 2, where the performance was watched by a 70,000 strong crowd. I've seen footage of Rock in Rio, not Sepultura, but like random bands, and man, what an audience it pulls. Before heading out to Brazil on a midnight European tour, Sepultura performed one more concert in Sao Paulo, the country's largest city. It took place at Prague, wherever it did. Local military police expected 10,000 to attend, 30,000 showed up instead, making crowd management nearly impossible. 6 people were hurt, 18 were arrested, and 1 was murdered with an axe. Whoa! I shouldn't laugh, but what? A week before, a young man was stabbed to death at a Ramones concert in Sao Paulo during a brawl between headbangers and skinheads. Let's see what happens when I hover over the word skinhead. Let's see what description we got. A member of a subculture that originated among working class youths in London, England in the 60s. You know what? At first glance, it doesn't reference the bloody National Front and racism, which is very good. Thank you, Wikipedia. That makes a change. These events were followed by a huge mainstream media backlash throughout the country against rock music. Sepultura's 3-month tour with thrash metal groups Sacred Reich and Heathen was a critical success. For the first time, they appeared on the cover of best-selling British heavy metal magazine Kerrang, and major pop weeklies such as Melody Maker and NME published long features articles about the group. While in Spain, Sepultura recorded their Under Siege video, which included their Barcelona concert and the interview. We didn't have the video on the playlist. An interview footage with all 4 members of the band. After Europe, they embarked on the North American tour New Titans on the Block with Napalm Death, Sick of It All and Sacred Reich. Max Cavalera has recalled that before signing on to the New Titans on the Block tour, Sepultura was supposed to be the opening act for the Clash of the Titans tour featuring Megadeth, Slayer and Anthrax. But they got kicked out and were replaced by Alice in Chains. Whoa! Wow, that's a good one, that. Sepultura, that's crazy, that. Sepultura wrapped up the year doing a brief German tour, Motorhead and Morbid Angel in December. Sepultura then managed to secure a slot in 2 of the most sought-after rock tours of 92. What was that? With ex-Black Sabbath singer Ozzy Osbourne, who was promoting his multi-platinum solo album No More Tears. No More Tears! While the second tour was with industrial metal stalwarts Ministry and influential unit Helmet. I enjoyed it when we listened to Helmet. Helmet was good. Both of these American acts had just released the most successful records of their career, Psalm 69 and Meantime. It was Meantime we listened to. A remastered version of Arise was released by Roadrunner in 97 with added notes by music critic Don Kay and 4 bonus tracks. Previously unreleased on compilation of Roots of Sepultura, a cover version of Motorhead's Orgasmatron, a rough mix of Desperate Cry, and 2 previously unreleased songs. Previously unavailable photoshoot from the Arise period was also included in the booklet. Right, reception. I probably won't delve into this too deep. Arise garnered praise from a wide variety of sources. By the time of its release, major Brazilian newspapers were already aware of the band's existence. Blah de blah de blah de blah de blah 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 blah. Arise was the first Sepultura record to enter the Billboard charts at 145. It was also the first to gain a music certification. Arise went gold in 92 for selling 25,000 copies in Indonesia. By 93, the album had sold 1 million units around the globe. In 2001, it won a second certification, silver in the UK, for selling an excess of 60,000 copies. Throughout the year, Arise has been continuously praised by the music press, not only as a landmark release of Sepultura's career, but of extreme metal in general. In November 96, Q magazine stated that Arise remains their thrash high watermark, sounding like an angry man throwing tools at a urinal while reading the Book of Revelations. AllMusic considered it a classic of the death metal genre, which is crazy to me. The album also appeared in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. And when I say it sounds crazy to me, I don't really hear death metal in it, in all honesty. I can see where you're coming from, but, you know, I just, it's a heavy thrash metal record, isn't it, really? Decibel would further go on to proclaim Arise as the greatest album of 91. That's bold, because there's some good stuff came out in 91, right? But fair play. Aidan McCann of Metal Digest noted the band had created a monster with their previous album Beneath the Remains, but Arise was the album which brought them through to the big mainstream MTV era, with tracks like Dead Embryonic Cells, Desperate Cry, and the title track which would lay the foundation for Sepultura's mid-90s success, with the band poised to conquer the world. Many people regard Arise as the band's last truly great album, which is crazy when you think of it. Yeah, the original had 9 tracks, which is good. Quite a varied writing credit as far as the lyrics are concerned throughout the record. Yeah, and with that being said, let's continue on. I think we got KOTP next, released 2 years later. So I'll see you there, people. Peace.